Hello everyone, welcome to The Social Doctor, and this is Dr. Ayushi. The Social Doctor is a platform for the doctors by the doctors, where we discuss journeys, experiences, and knowledge from successful medical practitioners. And today we have a very special guest, Dr. Gargi Roy, a very well-known person in among the dentistry circle. I hope if you are a dentist, you know her very well. She's an author, she's a science communicator, she's a healthcare research enthusiast, a geneticist, and as I mentioned, a dentist. She's also a founder and a director of Indian Academy of Clinical and Dental Genetics. Along with this, she's also a director of KROYNAS Pvt Limited. She's here to discuss with us about scientific writing. What are the kind of opportunities, scope with scientific writing, with the recent new opportunities, new jobs, and the queries coming out on scientific writing, medical writing? What are the difference between two? And if you pursue this, how you can pursue this, and what are the kind of opportunities for you out there? All of these questions we are going to cover here today. So welcome, Doctor, to the platform. It's really nice to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Ayushi. I think the Social Doctor is a fantastic platform to be here on with you today. I think it's a very well spent Sunday, I must say.
Thank you so much. So in fact, it's a pleasure to have you here, ma'am. So understanding, firstly, I really want to understand how you have been able to do so many things together. Being a researcher, being a geneticist, being an author, having so many hats together is difficult. So how do you find passion in such different things? Is if you can, share with our audience.
Yeah, thank you for that question. And thank you for the kind introduction that you made. It makes me feel very humble here. Well, to tell that, I need to go back and tell my background of education. I have an interdisciplinary science academic background. So I have, I am basically trained as a molecular biologist, and I am a postgraduate in genetics. And I had an intense research career. I worked in JNU, that is Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. I was also associated with IIT Kharagpur as a project associate for a very small time. And after that, after my research career, I came into dentistry due to some circumstantial reasons. Okay. And dentistry was by chance, by circumstances, not by choice of mine. The only reason I went to genetics before was that I never wanted to become a dentist, but today I am.
Yes.
Because my full family is full of dentists. And okay. I grew up with playing with casts, breaking them, tearing off, doing the postmortem of IOPAR. So that is what was my childhood like. But then, yes, as a science enthusiast, I'm a science enthusiast, particularly things which is related to life sciences, even related technologies. It attracts me a lot. And I'm a reader. I love reading. So I think I haven't achieved much, but then I think that's how I am. I mean, I love reading and talking about science, communicating about it. And writing was something which I have been doing right from my childhood. So like in school, writing poems, and I would be part of every essay competition, whether I never had intention to win or something, but I will definitely participate. So that is where, all these things came together. I think it's just about certain skills that I also had to learn when I came into my entrepreneurial journey. And I think I'm still learning, and that will continue.
Yeah, that's very nice to know. And we also, wish you all the best for that. We really want you to continue with the kind of work you are doing. So now on our topic, understanding scientific writing, and there is one more term, medical writing. So two very confusing terms. If you can first, help us detect the difference between the two. What is the difference between the two? And, how can somebody, a doctor, understand that?
Yes. Now, that's a very good question, Ayushi. So there are two schools of thoughts, like some people believe that medical writing is on the top, and then under that comes a scientific writing. Another school of belief is that scientific writing is the mother heading, and then other branches come in. So I am somebody who believes in the second group, second school of thought. So because I think whether it is medicine or any other sciences related, it's all about science that we are talking about. So medical writing and scientific writing are almost similar, just that a basic difference in scientific writing is that you have a wide arena to talk about science. So I mean to say, in medical writing, you will be expected to talk about things that are related to medicine. I mean, very simple. So you go to any pharmacology company, they ask you whatever you are writing for them. It can be some policy about some regulatory affairs, or you are writing, common materials for patient education. So, but that's all related to stuff that is with healthcare, medicine, right? But in science communication, you can write about AI, you can write about how any other thing that you might be interested. But yes, positioning yourself that way, that's the game plan. But scientific writing and medical writing is just that, scientific writing gives you a wider scope. Like, I'm sure many of us follow certain YouTube channels, or even you have seen news channels where people come and talk about innovations. So in a very simple way, like we have heard in the COVID times a lot about the vaccine development. So no, that is mRNA vaccine or RT-PCR. So all these are technical scientific jargons, which are very common thing in the bioscience community. But it was not common for common people. But now if you see that whether people understand or not, they know what is RT-PCR, because when you fly somewhere or you travel somewhere, it was a mandate at some point, RT-PCR. So that is, somebody communicated this, right? So that is, in a simple way, I can say that even if you are a dentist or medicine or anybody who is just from the life sciences background as well, you can take this up. I mean, both the things you can take it up. But yes, that's the base, very small, thin line of difference between science communication, scientific writing, and medical writing, as well as other aspects comes. What I told was more of science communication. Another is typical research writing. So that also comes under this heading, like where you write research articles, or supposedly, for example, a clinical trial has been happened and there's a data. Now you need to represent it, you need to publish that data. So these are different arenas which comes under this. And again, another thing is like writing about grants, proposals, funds, even policies, health policies. So there are a lot of areas that you can, depending on your preference, you can choose that niche. So niche is very important. So another thing is, like, for example, there's something called as business science writing. Like, for example, suppose I am a company, like I am into the biosciences or healthcare field. You run a business, so there are companies who gives us reports about what would be the market prediction, market size. So this kind of writing is called, but that's about, again, science, right? I mean, about that particular company or the industry. So these again comes under business science writing. So again, legal aspects, that I told already, like policies and stuff. So there are a lot of variety in this. And you as a person, or the beginner, you can choose one area and you can go ahead. So that is how I can explain about, in a very simple way, about science writing and medical writing. Yes,
meaning that's very helpful and very simple. Thank you for simplifying this. So as you mentioned, scientific writing has a lot of things. You mentioned two of them, obviously medical writing, and then research paper writing, and then business for biosciences people, the writing for them.
Writing is for any science industry, you can write.
Science industry. So what are the other different kinds of writing, and if you can just name them for our audience?
Yes, like you have regulatory writing, and then you become a regulatory affairs specialist. So you need certain skills for these different paths. That is what I would like to say. Even another is something which is you can specifically write for children. So that is where another it's a very big industry that comes up. And so I think I have touched upon almost everything. Yes.
So what, as a doctor, if I want to pursue, I'm not clear, I want to get into writing, what is it that you will suggest to to doctors or to, to students who are confused on how to pick up writing and which is the easiest one, how to get, how to get into it, or
Oh,
easiest, or, something that can come natural to them? What do you suggest?
yes. Now here I have a point to make, which is a myth, I believe, that people say, or you might have also heard here and there, that writing is a talent. You were born writer. Well, I don't believe in it, because I think it's a skill. So,
Okay.
like public speaking, we don't start speaking when we are just born. So we don't even know what is speaking. So forget public speaking. So same way, I feel writing is a skill. So when you harness certain skill, there is a path to harness that skill, and you have to understand that path, and you have to be patient, and you just go step one, step two, step three. So writing is a skill, and it just gets better and better with practice. And this is something which is common for anything, any skill that you take. So whether you are a medical doctor, like when you were a student, you start from theory, but you have to work on patients. You have your preclinicals. So by the time you come into the market, like you are joining somewhere, so you have different kind of responsibility. So what I'm trying to say is that it's about a skill that you have to learn, and you are good to go. So it is not something which is rocket science, I believe. I personally always say that anybody on this earth can write. So that's it. I mean, so anybody can get into scientific writing or medical writing industry. You do not need to have a kind of talent, because writing is a skill. So that is my perspective.
That's very, inspiring to know, to all of those who think that writing doesn't come natural to them. So now when you tell that writing it is for everybody, which is how to get, because all of these are very different, as you
Yes.
mentioned, and they cater to different industries as well. How to get trained to write something like this is, or how to understand the pattern, any easiest way that you can suggest the people who want to learn them?
Sure. First of all, I would like to tell you two things here to your audience and everybody who will be listening to us. See, first, you should understand yourself. Well, I'm not here to give a philosophical or motivational speech today, but this is related to the question you have answered. You have asked me. So do a personality test, any random personality test. And I suggest this in my workshops, in my education training programs on scientific writing, or even in other forums like Social Doctor, where I speak. The personality test gives you understanding about yourself, and it's a fun thing. So go to Google and just write personality test, and then just go, there are free available. So what you will understand that what is your inclination. So to become a writer, you need 2-3 things, which is essential. And those are again skills. Okay. You need problem solving skills. You need critical thinking, and you need to know the space of, you need to put it out in a way which is required by the person who is asking to do it, or whatever. I mean to say, you need to understand the need, right? That is more specific. So in this thing, these 3 things you have to understand. So first, if you go for a personality test, it will help you to self-analyze yourself, and you see what is your inclination to select a particular niche. I will give you my own example. Okay. Let's bring it down to, say, science communication and say typical research paper writing. So when you come through an academic career, we all do in some part, some way, with like particularly for doctors or medicine people. So somewhere we learn the art of writing a research paper. That is something which is already included in the curriculum. Now, for example, I can give you my example only. So I don't find interest in writing a typical research article which goes for publication, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. But I don't find interest. I find interest more into communicating the science in complex science. I want to break it down. I love simplifying complex science and talk about it so that it is understandable for anybody, any people who doesn't come from a bioscience background also should be able to understand that. So my preference is this. So I always choose work, or I do kind of things which is related to science communication, science journalism, rather than typical scientific research writing. So this is how you first have to niche, finding that niche is important. Now, as I told you an example of business science writing. Now, for this, you have to need you need an understanding of how industry runs, what is market, some business terminologies, then what is financial year. I mean, as simple as what is financial year means. Maybe at this point you don't know anything. So if you like this type of thing, like where you're putting up data, where you are giving some predictions through your writing, because many medical many companies are there who are market research companies. So there is a scope where you land up in those kind of companies if you have a knack to do this kind of a thing. So personality test is the first thing that you should do. And I will tell, as a beginner, do not restrict yourself. You have to taste plates, because if you do not go into the thing, you will never understand if you haven't done it before. So we don't do, but none of us do things from before, and that is why we're doing something. It is not like that. So writing is, you see, that you first read blogs. There are a lot of blogs in any niche that you select, because otherwise you will feel very overwhelmed. But my point is that at the beginning, you can just take one, okay, let me see this business writing with science communication, where research paper, where I am getting interested. And that is how you automatically, you yourself can analyze what is your niche. So that way, then you take the next steps. Like if you want to, like as I said, that for every kind of field of writing, you need some specific skills. So then you go for and check courses and get yourself trained, upskill yourself. That would be the correct path. But for me, the thing is that you should know yourself first. So that is very important. And when it comes to writing, I just want to add, though it was not in your question, is that take up that part when it comes to scientific writing or whatever, which you love to do. Just like I gave my own example, because people can relate to words very much. So if you're forcefully writing something, your work will never be up to that level. But I'm not telling that you should not try. You should not try the new things. You should always try. But decision making is on you. So that is what I want to tell as an answer to that question.
This is very, very important points that you have point out, from personality test to understanding your choices and not limiting yourself when you are young, are three very important points for anybody to understand. So, but then again, coming down to how to understand and get trained in this kind of writing is also something that, once you pass your bachelor's, you do not understand, or maybe post-graduation also, you don't understand these things. How do you think is the best way for people to understand? Is it to pick up a job and then learn from there, or, or doing internships, or learning before and then going for that? What is your suggestion to all of those people?
Yeah. So as a beginner, I should say that if you have zero experience of writing, but you think that I can write, you feel little excitement. So my point is that if you feel excited about this word writing, only then keep your feet here. Because as I said, with every field, there are certain things that you need to, follow, or it's kind of a norm of that path, right?
Correct.
So the thing is that, going back to your question, here, never apply to a job as a beginner at the first point. Please don't do it, because from an industry perspective, I'm telling you, like you have a pain point as a fresher that you not get jobs, or you are applying, you want to write and you want to show, you are doing so many things, but your calls are unnoticed. It is never answered back. Your emails are just cold emails. Nobody answers them even. Or maybe somewhere you got an interview call and you get rejected. So my honest request is that please go back. Instead of getting frustrated or procrastinating or blaming others, just think that, why has this happened to you? What is missing? Why they haven't answered your email? So go back and introspect. because there is a way to communicate. When you're communicating through your writing, like messages or email, there is a way to do it. So you need to go back and learn that skill first. Second, a very interesting way I will tell you is that go and see job description. Suppose tomorrow XYZ company, you see a job that has popped up, and just don't blindly send your CV. Go and read the job description and score yourself that all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, whatever is written in the job description, how many of these you know and you do not know at all, or you know, you have some idea. So if this is something, this will help you to understand the loopholes that is existing on that the CV particularly, or the skills that is missing out, and you yourself can understand that what exactly I have to do for this, what kind of training I should take. So this is one thing. Read the JD carefully and first analyze and see whether you have those skills at this point or not, because these are all skills you can learn. And in today's world, I feel information is everywhere. So I don't think that's a big deal today. Not like our time. So I think you have all the world just in a click of a button. Correct. So that is second thing which I would tell. Third is that use your social media as a professional tool. Build your network. This is very, very important. And this is my personal choice. You might disagree, but I respect that. But I find LinkedIn as a social media tool to be very, very effective, where you can show what you are, you can bring up the trust, and you can, you don't even need a CV. If you have a very good profile on LinkedIn, people will come and approach to you. Well, I'm not telling that this is only going to happen, but I'm just telling you that focus on these things first before getting frustrated at the point. And I will also tell you something like, to get firsthand experiences, find those kind of platforms who offer you, offer freshers or non-experienced people to try their hands out. So in that way, I would like to invite any fresher from the bioscience, dental, medical. I run an e-magazine called as GENOMEDEN, which is an interdisciplinary magazine. You can see the website www.genomeden.com. Now, it's a completely free e-magazine. So we invite articles, we publish it, and there is no complication of money here. So, and we publish it with author credit. That is important. So this is just one example, but there are a lot of platforms. So volunteer. So you will get, once you start volunteering, because any process, like if you're writing something, like for us also, if you give a writing, it will not just be published just like that. It will go through a review. So we will give you that perspective. So from the time you get reviews, you are getting experiences, and note it down. So these are the 2-3 things that I would like to highlight to answer your question.
No, these are again very important points that you just mentioned to build your skill and then to go forward with that. Very, very important. So now when you mentioned that people should first not directly apply and then first understand what things they know and then start working on it with the kind of things that they have around. Apart from this, there are a lot of opportunities coming in medical writing, scientific writing, with the current boom in the digital space. There are a lot of health tech, medtech startups who want medical writers. There are a lot of marketing companies who want medical writers, who want them to do things. How difficult it is to get into that space, and what do you suggest for the current batch students who are passing out their bachelor's or master's, that how they can gain from this kind of an opportunity?
Yes, I think I already answered a part of this before.
Yes.
The thing is that, see, it's all about how you are portraying yourself. So what I was trying to say in the previous answer, that I'm not discouraging you to apply for any job. I'm also not telling you that until unless you gain that skill, you don't apply. It is not like that. But the thing is that You have to understand, put yourself in the employer's shoes. So whether it is a startup, whether it is a market research company, whether it is a big pharma big shot pharma company, wherever you are applying, just think that why they will hire you. This why has to be answered. The day you can answer this why, because this why will give the path give you the path which you yourself can discover. You don't need any help. And as I said, in today's world, information is ample, opportunities are ample. So just start writing on LinkedIn. Because that you are the boss of your own LinkedIn profile. Nobody's going to come and hit you that why you have written, why you have written this.
Correct.
That is a good way to start. Because so to how to write on LinkedIn, what are the things that you can do there? So just go and explore. It's all available just for free. So that is where I'm telling that decision making will come only when you harness knowledge, when you have that information. So first, get yourself informed, and whatever resources you have at this point, you should always try to start from there, right? And applying to job, definitely you can always do that. But as I said, read the job description. And if you have an opportunity to connect to the hiring manager or hiring person or the whoever is hiring, if you have an option to connect to them, connect, and please be honest in your ask that I want to apply, I have so and so skills, I am interested. But if you don't have any experience, you tell I don't have any experience, but I'm interested to do. So you can do this with a good way of communication. So you might not get answers from everybody, but there are people who will give you answers. So that will again become a guide path. So it is a constant process. You just cannot expect, okay, I did this course, so that means next thing is that I apply to this, my job is guaranteed. And to be very honest, today's world, right from the pandemic times, if we go back, today's world is dynamic. Nothing is constant. So even if you get a very high paying job, you don't have an assurance that it is going to stay for you forever. So my honest suggestion is that as a beginner, you have a lot of scope. You are young. We can't do certain things at this age because we are restricted. Like we always think, okay, I have only this many years. Okay. So, but when you're young, you have scope. So don't miss out any opportunity. And definitely you apply. But why I'm telling you is that because a startup, when they're hiring you, they have a different mindset that they're hiring. They have different expectation from you. So
correct.
Just go and analyze these kind of things and analyze yourself, that where you are standing. Okay. And then you definitely you should apply. I'm not telling you that don't apply. But the thing is that don't get disheartened and don't go into that procrastination cycle. And I'll tell you one good thing, which I personally believe, that nobody is expert in this world. Okay. None of us are experts. So today you don't know something, tomorrow you will know it. So I think that's the process. You just have to be patient with the process and keep yourself, in loop in all the things. So read a lot, read books, read blogs. It will give you a lot of information. It gives a lot of information. So that is how I can,
just sit down. This is very nice to know. And now coming to this, also one more thing. This kind of opportunity, writing opportunity, comes as a full-time and a part-time, as a freelancer as well. And there are different pay scales for everything. Can you please, put a limelight on each one of them, that how does this go?
Okay, I cannot put a limelight on the pay scale because it all depends on the company they are hiring, the type of post you are going into. So it's a dynamic, pricing plan that goes out there.
Still a range, any range that you might suggest?
No, I can't do that because that would not be a justice. Because if we are talking about a specific industry, I could do that. But today we are talking more in a generalized perspective. But I will definitely give you the idea about the full-time, part-time, and freelance. Well, there are 2-3 things when it comes to medical writing or scientific writing. And particularly, I would first I'll start from freelance. So as a freelancer, you have some advantages, like you can manage your own time. It's flexible. Now, when it comes to freelance writing, there are again two things under this. Whether you are becoming a freelancer, I mean, are you somebody who wants to offer services like writing services? That is something else, because that is kind of like you are building a business out of your skills, right? So you need to go to companies, you have to talk to them, and you need clients for that. Or you are applying as a freelancer. I mean, you're applying for some freelance jobs. So with freelancer, the thing is that even if you are, if you don't have the skill at this moment, this would be a good way to start to gain experiences. And, you can take your own time, and you can, modify things, you can do other things, and you can still earn some pocket money out of this. So to start with, I prefer freelancing more than anything. Now, coming to part-time and full-time, definitely, once my idea is that once you, if you're getting an opportunity, if somebody is hiring you, that's very good. But everybody, whether it is part-time or full-time, when a company hires, for you as a fresher or a beginner, you are applying to jobs. For that, you don't need to invest any money. But when we hire somebody, we are investing money. So every time there is like, we would expect something out of that our work would be done. So we always, people look for at least some basic skills when they're hiring. So that is why I'm telling that you can see the curve like this, that suppose you are studying at this moment, you are an intern, or you are a final year student, or whatever, you have just passed out and you are looking for some higher studies program, or maybe you are looking for jobs just as like that. If you are interested in this area, there are a lot of freelancer sites where you can register yourself for free. You can put your profile out and you can tell that, okay, I'm skilled at this and stuff. So like freelancer.com is one, fiverr.com is another. So here you can put your profile out, and you will see with time, you will definitely get responses. So as I said that, again, to put out your profile, there is a certain way. So you can go inside these websites and you can see what are the instructions they have given. So everything is there. You just have to patiently have to read things. Now coming to part-time. So choose, if you are doing part-time, see, I will tell you one thing. When it comes to part-time, as an employer, even if we are hiring somebody part-time, we have a set of things that we expect. And do not take any part-time job as, okay, it's just a part-time. So that attitude needs to be changed, which I have seen in the industry. Like, I'm talking from an industry perspective at this moment, not as an academician. So when you are taking a part-time job, please make sure that you have enough time to take care of yourself, your work-life balance, whatever you are doing full-time, other things, and you have enough time to deliver what is being asked. Only then step into it. And full-time, obviously, if you are focused and your goal is that, okay, now I want to take this up my permanent career, then as usual, you have to upskill and you go into it. So this is the way you choose the type of job, and you make the decisions how you choose these jobs. And see, as a freelancer, when you get some experiences, the best part is you can bid for yourself. Like, I charge so and so for this kind of a thing. So that's the best part. And that thing helps you to grow as a person, with experiences, with everything. And definitely with the industry coming up, medical writing, scientific writing they are very high paying. These are very high paying industry at this moment. And one mention I should also tell here, that it was not before COVID, it was not like that. Like, international job markets have opened because of, I think that's the best part of COVID when it comes to medical writing or scientific writing, because the mindset was little different before. People wanted you to be there, it would be all on site. But now it has skyrocketed. So you sit in your home and you can earn in, whatever foreign currencies. So you can also explore international job market in this area, which is a very good thing to do. So yeah, so that is how I could answer. Yeah.
No, this is very nice to know how it gives you the flexibility as well as money together is the best part to understand, especially for, I think so, as a women, I can totally relate to this. We at certain point in time need that kind of flexibility, or maybe are always happy to have some flexibility with that can help us at some stage in our life to manage a lot of things together.
Correct.
And as also you mentioned, as a clinician also, if you want an extra income, you can definitely start with this. Maybe you never know, this is something that comes natural to you, and you pick it up as a full-time opportunity when you understand that this is something that you really like. So giving it a shot does not hurt. Just learn about it, read it, and apply for for freelancing opportunities or part-time opportunities that might help. So lastly, I want to understand one thing. Yes, we agree that the medical writing space is increasing, it is booming, there are a lot of opportunities coming. How do you think are the future changing with it, with the coming AI coming in? How are, because writing is something, after seeing chat gpt, honestly, the way it is writing emails and things for all of those college students and professionals, things have changed. The documentation has changed. Plagiarism is not there at all with those kind of documents. So how do you think with writing things are going to change with this, and what are the kind of challenges coming in this kind of field with this?
Well, that's a very good point that you brought. With AI or stuff like ChatGPT, I don't think it's a challenge, first of all. It's a very good opportunity to, it's an assistant, use it as an assistant, because we have a limitation of our human brain. Like, for example, tomorrow, if you're working in a medical writing company or scientific journalism, you have to be a kind of multitasker kind of a thing. Like, you have to do simultaneously, you have to do 2-3 projects, and you have to deliver it on time. So sometimes our brain stops working because it gets tired with ideas and stuff. So I think ChatGPT or any other AI tool is a good thing if you use it as an assistant, rather than stopping your creative juice and you are just clicking on it and it is writing for you and you are delivering that work. It will never work that way. And I am not talking about the technology per se. I personally see this as a very good opportunity, because suppose ideas which you can't think, this is helping you. So for example, like I said you certain things right now before, like I answered your questions and I told you that you can do this, you can do that. So just ask ChatGPT, okay, what kind of blogs are available? What are the sites which I can go and apply? It will help you. It saves your time. So use in that way. And with writing, I can, with 500% guarantee, I can say that once you have that essence of writing in yourself, a writer's mind or a writer's eye, what a machine has written and where there is a human connection, this is very, very evident. And this nobody can take from anybody. Yes, like as you said, for email writing or marketing stuff, I should say that you should use it for yourself as well, to build up your profile, because that saves your time, because that is something which you have to do repetitively. So as a student or as a fresher, you cannot hire somebody for you to write social media posts, right? Or something which you want to do repetitively. So you take ideas, you can then implement, and you can put your own understanding into it and push it out inside the space. So I see all these AI opportunities, AI tools as opportunities. So I don't think there is any threat or challenge in this. And human resource is not going to die. That can never happen. Just to conclude, this answer is that ChatGPT is built by a human. So we have super brains. So a machine cannot just supersede human brain. So that's my answer to this.
Yes. No, that is very nicely given, and a nice way to understand how these tools are actually there to help us, but not replace the current human force, because that is irreplaceable. The kind of mind, the kind of ideas, the kind of innovations that a human mind can do, these tools cannot. So, and thank you so much for giving that insight, because this is something that is always there in everybody's mind, and the way you address that is truly amazing. So thank you so much for letting us know that, and also thank you so much for addressing, the whole query of scientific writing so nicely, so clearly. Also, lastly, if you can mention anything from your end, that you want to spread across the current students and practitioners who are there, who are listening to you, something from your end.
Okay, I think, I am not a motivational speaker at all, because I don't believe in motivation. I always gather inspiration from my past experiences. And that is what I would also suggest, that just see that where you were 3 years back and where you are now. And if you want to pursue a path, just see that how much practically feasible it is. And second, very important thing which I want to say is that do not start comparing yourself, because this is something which we generally do in our normal life also. Like that lady has a good sari, I don't have, then I go and watch my husband's hair. So we are not supposed to do this. I mean, that's not a good way, because you do not grow, because you are wasting time just by thinking of that person. And I think you can utilize that for your upgradation. So I think that is something from my side. And practice of research is important in every field that you want to go. So when I say practice of research, it is nothing research. I mean, keep searching. So whatever you want to do, whatever you are planning to do, so first gather information, make yourself knowledgeable, and then there are a lot of people whom you can follow, you can get inspired. And I believe personally it's kind of a universe will always bring you back to those kind of people what you are trying to pursue. But that's why I always say that practice of research should be there. And for me, it's just search and search again is research. So that's all I have to say from my side. Yeah.
So it's so nicely said and so nicely compiled. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here, for helping us understand such an important topic. As doctors, we don't understand how to learn, how to progress, and how to go forward with this, as well as how to apply for this. Applying for jobs in corporates is very different from how we learn with medicine. So thank you so much for unfolding that and helping people understand how they can do that. So it was a wonderful and insightful session. Thank you for being here. Totally.
Thank you, Ayushi. It was my pleasure to be here.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm sure this would have been a truly insightful session, for each one of you. Do share this with your friends and colleagues, for all of those who are looking for an extra income or figuring out what new things they can do in their lives. This is an interesting space to be in, with the kind of new opportunities growing, getting in with as a part-timer or a full-timer, or as a subsidiary income. You can always pursue something because it takes your knowledge, your medicinal knowledge into it, which is your asset. So just utilize this kind of space and build your areas of growth with this. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's truly great to have you. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a nice Sunday.